Hey everyone, I want to jump on today, and I'm not going to talk about necessarily a money saving tip per se, or a deal, or a promotion. I simply just want to come on today and pretend that I'm Martha Stewart and show you a really easy, like super easy, crafty farmhouse, frugal decor idea that you can do in your home. I put this on my blog, I don't know, a month ago maybe. But it's just so super adorable that I wanted to jump on and show you exactly how to do it, because sometimes people see these cool things on Pinterest and they're like, oh, just DIY. And people that aren't like great at DIYing just like keep scrolling, keep scrolling. Oh yeah, that's cute, keep scrolling. And I want to show you today that you can totally make this and you can totally set it up, and it's super easy, and I can show you what it is. Okay, so I have to move my computer a little bit. I've been practicing and looking at different parts of my house when I'm doing my Facebook Lives. Anyway, see that cute little framed, like it's got like, you know, the distressed white farmhouse looking frame, the cute little wreath, and it says blessed underneath it. And that's what I made a few weeks ago. And you might think, I'm not going to make that. I don't have time for that. I'm going to show you that it's super fast because I made it super easy for you. So, to start out, now I did not make the frame. I totally bought this off Amazon. And if you go to the blog post, I put the link to the post up above the video. But anyway, if you want this like exact identical frame, you can jump on Amazon and get it. I think it was like 20 bucks. Which for me was kind of a splurge because I normally just like to go to the thrift store and distress things myself. Or, you know, this is from another blog post. This currently is hanging up in my guest room, but this frame I got at the dollar store, and I just spray painted it like an off-white, and then I probably did use the Dremel because my husband has a Dremel tool with a sanding attachment, which makes it super easy to distress. You just like, and you're done. But you can do this by hand, and you sandpaper and go around, and it's like super easy, and you're done. So this one cost $1. But since this one is to hold an 8x10, and I just love this frame so much on Amazon, I just snagged this one. So what makes this so easy, though, is that on my blog post, you can sign up and you can get this free printable. Isn't it cute? And I love it because this is kind of just a theme in our family. We always like to talk about our blessings, even just this season of our life. I just feel like that's something we've been emphasizing more and more, is to be thankful in every situation of life. We kind of been going through a tougher season in our family. My husband, who's kind of been furloughed on his job since Christmas. He's only been working part-time. He's also struggled with some health issues, and it's just kind of been a downer on our family because we're not sure when he's going back to work full-time and how much do we stress about our budget and things like that. But the whole time we keep reminding each other, it doesn't matter, we're still thankful, and we're able to spend more time together. He's been able to spend more time with the family, and we just keep going over and over all the blessings that we truly have. And so even in a tough season, I love being able to see this directly in my living room, reminding me that, hey, I'm blessed. God's given me a lot of blessings, and I'm going to celebrate that. So if you want to make this, first of all, you can go and download that free printable, print it out, and then once you have it printed out, you might have to trim it depending on the frame you use. If you use the exact same frame off of Amazon, I think I trimmed this a little bit because that was an 8x10, and this is just printer paper 8.5x11. So you will have to trim it off the edges a little bit for it to fit perfectly in the frame. Now you might think, okay, the wreath. What's up with that little wreath? Where'd you get that? Now, I remember, which I'm totally bummed about, that after Christmas, when I was browsing around the clearance aisles at Michael's after Christmas, like when everything is 75% off, I saw these super cute, adorable, like little tiny, they look like fake boxwood green wreaths. And I totally wish I snagged some, but I didn't. So in my brain, I was like, how can I replicate that? And I remember I went to Walmart and I was looking for something similar. They didn't have it. So I'm like, okay, what can I find in my craft boxes and what can I whip together? So here's what I came up with. And if you have a little green wreath, just use that. But if you want an easy way to make a wreath, it's really not that hard. So I have floral wire. Floral wire typically comes like this. I don't know, maybe $5 on Amazon. I think the link is in my post if you don't have any floral wire. I cut a piece here, probably not even a foot long. Basically, I just want it to be the same size if I wrap it in a circle. So I'll move up here so you can see the wire. I just want it to be like the same circumference size that I would want the wreath to be. And then I'm just kind of winding the ends together to close it off. I'm not doing anything fancy. Just winding the ends around each other. And that's it. And so then you have this wire. It's not perfectly round. It doesn't have to be perfectly round right now. You can reshape it later. Okay, and so then I bought this. I don't remember what I bought it for initially. Probably just because I liked it. I'm sure there was another project I use this for. This is also on Amazon. It's like 2 pieces of jute braided around some leaf ribbon. So it's like a braid, and one of the strands is leaf, and the other 2 is jute. And it's like, I don't know, it's just cute ribbon with green leaves in it. So I take this. The link to this is in my blog post if you want this exact same thing. And I take this, and like, it's really easy. Now I already cut this to size, but basically I'm holding the end against the wire, and I'm just kind of wrapping it around the wire. And yes, the wire is going to be misshapen. It's not going to be a perfect circle right now. It does not need to be a perfect circle. That will come later. But I'm just going to kind of do one row of this and show you. You just wrap this around the wire. My wire came undone, so I'm going to quickly rewrap that. Those things happen. I'm on Facebook Live. It's real life. It's okay. All right, pulling this through. And now, if you're doing this whole thing, you end up going around it, I think, like 3 times to get the full thickness for a wreath. So I'm not going to do the entire thing right now, but I will show you that I did make another one right before this video. So I had one to show you so you weren't just watching me wrap wire. But it doesn't take very long. It takes like 3 minutes to like go around it, say 3 times to get to be this thick. And then I had some of this buffalo plaid ribbon. Now there's a funny story behind this ribbon because I did not buy this recently. This was tucked away in one of my craft boxes in my ribbon box. And I remember going through looking at what ribbon I already had on hand to make this. And then I remember, oh yeah, this was like from our wedding, because my husband, when he was in college, he was on a Baja team, mini Baja team. And if you don't know what that is, they're like little mini race vehicles. And he's an engineer, so he was on this team, and basically they spend the entire school year until whenever their competition is, building from scratch one of these little mini Baja cars. And then they drove down to, I think, Utah for one of the races or something, and they raced it. And they see how fast it is, and they make everything from scratch. So he was busy being a nerdy engineer. One of the reasons why I love him and married him. But when we got married and I like designed our wedding invitations, of course they're beautiful and girly. And back then my colors were light blue and silver, and I had this perfect little shimmery blue bow at the top of the invitation. It was just like a 1-page invitation. And my husband was like, I am not sending this girly thing to my Baja team, even though they, of course, were all invited to the wedding. So he's like, can I get like some sort of racing stripe bow or something else to put at the top? I'm like, really? Really? You're going to mess up our gorgeous wedding invitations with a racing stripe bow? But I let him do it. And this isn't even racing stripe. This is what I think I found. And I brought it home, and he's like, oh, I guess that's good enough. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, this is totally not even racing stripe. Now it's like the cool, trendy buffalo plaid. So anyway, I had some of this. And if you want, let me go back here and grab this. So basically, once you make your wreath, and it's not even like glued on or anything, it's just kind of swinging in the breeze. So you can make a little bow. So you just take like a loop here and just make another loop here, like this. I didn't even tie it, nothing. All I did is stuck this like on top of the wreath, and then you'll take another piece of ribbon and go through it to hang this up. And so you can, the bow doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be like wrapped around or tied. I don't even know if this one is glued. I probably glued, yeah, I guess I did now that I'm feeling it. I did use some hot glue to secure it. There is hot glue underneath here to secure it. But then you just take a ribbon and then in this particular frame, to connect it, I just stuck it behind, I don't even know what this is called, the backing, the official photo frame backing. And so it's just in there. So this isn't even glued on or anything because this backing is on there. Now, if you use a different frame, you might not be able to do this. You might have to glue it on. I know in other projects, I've actually used a staple gun, like right here at the spot, depending on how thick the wood is of the frame, if that would work or not. Hot glue is great, and I use my hot glue gun all the time. But I also know that in the summertime, when it gets very humid, sometimes that hot glue gets a little too warm and humidity, and it doesn't hold together. I have another blogging friend who I was talking about craft projects, with, and she was saying, and she goes down to Florida in the winter, and she's like, no hot glue gun projects because they all fall apart in Florida. And so that's just something to keep in mind, that depending on where you live, like hot glue is one of my favorites. All-time best crafting all-around tool to have on hand, but sometimes it may not always hold. So sometimes you might need a stronger glue. Liquid fusion is my favorite. You might need to use a glue like that or a staple gun, but it should be pretty easy just to get this on there. So you make a little wreath, you stick on a little bow. You don't have to design this printable. You don't have to design the text. I've already done that for you. You just have to print this off, frame it, make a cute little wreath, or find a cute little wreath, get some ribbon, hang it on there, and then you're done. And I think it's super adorable. One good thing, though, I have to say, because I know I was talking about how, like in our own family, my husband has had some health problems and has not been working full time. So that has kind of been a challenge just on how we structure our budget. But I'm kind of going to lift this up. I know this is kind of awkward, but while he's had some time off, he's made me a new end table here, and he made me a new coffee table. Let me just get up here and show you if I can swing around. You'll be able to see it. It's hard to see in this lighting. But anyway, he made me an awesome new coffee table, which I totally love. And that has been time well spent. He has been home more often these past couple months. But anyway, so I hope that you attempt this project. Grab this. You could even do like a 5x7, do something different, get a smaller frame. I don't know, get creative. But decorating your home in like trendy, new, cute ways does not have to cost a lot. It's not as hard as it may look, and it's totally doable. So if you liked this idea, or you know someone who's like, oh, I know they would love that, or they're craftier than me, and they would totally do that, share this with them. And then that's all I have for you today. I know I'm going to be jumping back on live later this week because I do have an awesome, amazing free resource that I'm going to share with you later this week. But I'm going to wait and do that, I hope, on Friday. So I'll be back later this week. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. Bye.